Opening scene. A sweeping view of a desolate battlefield, ashes drifting in the wind, remnants of a fierce struggle scattered across the land. The camera pans over shattered weapons and battered armor, symbols of a tumultuous past. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the epic tale of two legendary orcs, whose destinies shaped the very fabric of Azeroth. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's chat about Thrall and Ner'zhul, the shaman who defied the first warchief. You might be wondering, how did Thrall, a shaman dedicated to peace and harmony, come to stand against Ner'zhul, the original warchief who once united the Orcish clans? Well, stick around, because we're about to unravel this fascinating story of fate, choices, and the enduring spirit of the Orcish people. The rise of Ner'zhul. So let's start from the beginning with Ner'zhul. Born on the world of Draenor, Ner'zhul was a highly respected shaman of the Shadowmoon clan. He had a deep connection with the elements and the ancestral spirits, guiding his people with wisdom and compassion. The orcs looked up to him as a spiritual leader, someone who could communicate with the very essence of their world. But things took a dark turn when Kil'jaeden, a demon lord of the Burning Legion, decided to meddle with the orcs. Kil'jaeden disguised himself as the spirit of Ner'zhul's deceased mate, Rolkan. Imagine being tricked by someone you loved and trusted. Under this guise, Kil'jaeden manipulated Ner'zhul, feeding him lies about an impending threat from the Draenei, another race living peacefully on Draenor. Driven by the desire to protect his people, Ner'zhul began uniting the orc clans under one banner, forming what would become the Horde. It seemed like a noble cause at first, to stand strong against a common enemy. But as the orcs banded together, they unknowingly started down a path of darkness. Eventually, Ner'zhul discovered the truth, that he'd been deceived by Kil'jaeden all along. Realizing the catastrophic consequences of his actions, he tried to backpedal and stop the madness. But by then, the wheels were already in motion. Gul'dan, his ambitious apprentice, seized control and plunged the orcs deeper into corruption by introducing them to fentanyl magic and the blood of Manaroth. After the orcs' defeat in the Second War, Ner'zhul, desperate and cornered, attempted to open portals to new worlds to escape Draenor's destruction. But his actions only led to the planet's shattering. As punishment for his failures, Kil'jaeden captured Ner'zhul, tore his spirit from his body, and bound him to the frozen throne, transforming him into the Lich King. Talk about a rough ending. The emergence of Thrall. Now, let's switch gears to our boy Thrall. Born as Golel, he was the son of Durotan and Draka, the noble leaders of the Frostwolf clan. Tragically, shortly after his birth, his parents were assassinated because they opposed Gul'dan's treacherous schemes. Baby Goel was found by Adelis Blackmore, a human lieutenant who gave him the name Thrall, which literally means slave. Yeah, not exactly a term of endearment. Thrall grew up in captivity, trained to be a gladiator for human entertainment. Despite his harsh upbringing, he was intelligent and resourceful, secretly educating himself whenever he could. Life was tough, but it couldn't crush his spirit. One day, Thrall decided he'd had enough of chains and cages. He made a daring escape, fleeing into the wilds in search of his true heritage. Out there, he met Grommash Hellscream of the Warsong clan, who told him about his people and the old ways. Inspired, Thrall sought out the Frostwolf clan and was welcomed by Drekthar, the shaman of the clan. Under Drekthar's guidance, Thrall embraced shamanism, reconnecting with the elemental spirits and learning about honor and tradition. Empowered by his newfound identity, Thrall set out on a mission to reunite the scattered orc clans and free his people from the internment camps where they were held prisoner by the Alliance. He wasn't just about brute force, though. Thrall wanted to rebuild the Horde based on the principles of honor, respect, and a deep connection with the natural world. Shamanism, the spiritual bond. So what's the big deal with shamanism in orc society? Well, for the orcs, shamanism isn't just a religion, it's a way of life. It's all about balance, respect for the elements, and harmony with the world around them. Ner'zhul was once the epitome of a pure shaman. He communicated with the spirits and led his people with a gentle hand. But his corruption marked a significant fall from grace. Instead of listening to the true spirits, he was swayed by the deceptions of Kil'jaeden, leading him down a path that abandoned the very teachings he once held dear. Thrall, on the other hand, represents a return to those traditional shamanistic values. He rekindled the orcs' spiritual bonds, emphasizing the importance of the elements and the ancestors. His dedication wasn't just about personal power. It was about healing the broken relationship between his people and the world. The contrast between their paths is pretty striking, right? Both started as shaman, but while Ner'zhul fell into darkness and despair, Thrall rose above his circumstances to restore honor and balance. It's like they were on the same road but took completely different turns. Ideological differences. Let's talk leadership styles. Ner'zhul, especially towards the end, became more authoritarian. His decisions were driven by fear and desperation, making choices that had dire consequences for his people. He sought power as a means to an end, which ultimately led to destruction. Thrall's approach couldn't be more different. As a leader, he was compassionate and empathetic. He listened to his people, valued their input, and aimed for consensus. His vision for the orcs was one of peace and coexistence, not domination. When it comes to methods and tactics, Ner'zhul dabbled in dark magic, even allying with warlocks and using fentanyl energies that tainted the orcs' very souls. Thrall rejected all of that. He relied on traditional shamanism and encouraged his people to do the same, steering them away from the corrupting influences that had led them astray. It's a classic tale of power versus peace, fear versus hope. And it's these differences that set the stage for their inevitable conflict. The conflict unfolds. The legacy of Ner'zhul was a heavy burden for Thrall to bear. The orcs were suffering from the demonic corruption that Ner'zhul's actions had set into motion. They were imprisoned, scattered, and had lost their way. Thrall faced the enormous challenge of overcoming this dark legacy. But he was determined. He worked tirelessly to break the orcs free from their lethargy, both physically and spiritually. He helped them shake off the demonic influences and reignited their connection to the elements. There were times when Thrall had to confront the literal and symbolic remnants of Ner'zhul's influence. For example, battling against the forces of the Scourge, which were tied to the Lich King's power. Remember, the Lich King was essentially Ner'zhul, in a new, twisted form. Thrall's efforts weren't just about fighting foes on the battlefield. They were about healing a fractured identity and restoring a sense of purpose to his people. The Defiance. Thrall's journey is a story of defiance against a dark past. He actively broke away from the cycle of violence and vengeance that Ner'zhul had inadvertently set into motion. Instead of seeking retribution, Thrall sought reconciliation. He embraced a new path by forging alliances, even with former enemies like the humans and the Night Elves. He understood that survival depended on unity and understanding, not on old grudges. Key events highlight Thrall's decisions that directly opposed Ner'zhul's legacy. For instance, during the Third War, Thrall allied with Jaina Proudmoore to defeat the Burning Legion, a stark contrast to Ner'zhul's earlier deceptions and alliances with darker forces. Thrall's actions weren't just about defeating a common enemy. They were about setting an example and showing that there was a better way forward. The aftermath. Under Thrall's leadership, the Horde underwent a significant transformation. It wasn't just a band of warriors anymore. It became a community that valued honor, strengthened by the diverse races that joined its ranks, like the Tauren and the Trolls. As for Ner'zhul, his fate was sealed within the Frozen Throne. Over time, his identity was consumed by the Lich King entity, leaving behind a cautionary tale of ambition and corruption. His demise served as a grim reminder of the cost of losing one's way. Thrall succeeded in restoring the orcs' honor and spiritual roots. He brought back the teachings of shamanism, healed the wounds of the past, and set his people on a path toward a brighter future. Thrall's influence didn't just stop with the orcs. He continued to play a vital role in Azeroth's future, participating in major events like the Cataclysm, and serving as the world shaman to heal the world itself. Legacy and influence. From their stories, we learn about the importance of choices, the impact of leadership, and the ripple effects our actions can have on others. It's a powerful lesson in responsibility and integrity. Their legacies continue to affect new generations within the Warcraft universe. Characters. Characters look back on Thrall as a paragon of virtue, while Ner'zhul's story serves as a warning against the temptations of power. The themes are timeless and resonate with audiences even today. So to wrap things up, we've journeyed through the lives of Ner'zhul and Thrall, two shaman whose choices couldn't have led them down more different paths. Ner'zhul, once a noble leader, fell into corruption and ultimately became a harbinger of doom. Thrall rose from the ashes of his people's despair to become a symbol of hope and restoration. Their stories remind us that leadership isn't just about strength or power. It's about the choices we make and the values we uphold. It's a testament to the idea that no matter how dark things get, there's always a chance to make them right. I hope this chat has given you some food for thought. Think about how the past shapes the present, and how one person's actions can influence the course of history. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today and exploring this epic tale. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more lore dives and discussions. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments below. I love hearing what you all think. Stay tuned because next week we'll be delving into the mysteries of the Night Elf civilization. You won't want to miss it. Until then, take care, stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.